Hello. We are still continuing our conversation alcohol. The subject now we'll be tackling is binge drinking. Okay, so I'm going to give you the definition of binge drinking, then I'm going to give you a couple examples of some stories of some people who decided to share their story on their experience with drinking and drinking a lot. The definition of binge drinking is the practice of consuming large quantities of alcohol in a single session, usually defined as five or more drinks at one time for a man or four or more drinks at one time for a woman. Don't know exactly why binge drinking would be why it's one less for women. You think it would be the same, but nevertheless, that's the stat. Interesting stat here: about 90% of the alcohol consumed by youth under the age of 21 in the United States is in this form of binge drinking. So that's a pretty telling statistic that 90% of the alcohol consumed by kids is in the form of binge drinking, which shows just how much alcohol, you know, young people are consuming at a dangerous rate. A couple stories I have here are some people who had some binge drinking experiences and they decided to share it. I'm not gonna get into their names at all, but I'll just read the experience. I binge drink every chance I get, and to be honest, I'm disgusted with myself. But I cannot control my desire to do it. If I drink too much or drink certain drinks, I get breathless and go blotchy all over my body. But I continue to drink until I'm so exhausted I fall asleep. I'm not sure that I'm strong enough to quit my stupidity. An interesting story from somebody who's, you know, they don't like what they're doing. They know what they're doing isn't right. They know it doesn't feel right to them, but they can't stop doing it. You heard him say at the end, I'm not strong enough to quit my stupidity. He knows this is wrong. He knows this is hurting him, and he can't stop. Because remember, alcohol just doesn't affect your body, it affects your brain. And especially for young kids who aren't developed enough to be able to make decisions on their own, alcohol is definitely not helping you determine what's right and wrong. Um, Another story we have here is by the time I was in my mid 20s, I was locked into drinking. Remember, he said mid 20s. So apparently, he had been doing this for a while as a teenager, probably most likely started as a teenager. A lot of my first concerns about drinking and everything else came second. I started to realize that when I didn't have a drink, I had a sense of panic and I would start shaking. If I had to go without a drink, I would go through shakes and sweats. I couldn't go for more than a few hours without a drink. Um, again, like I said, the brain, alcohol affects the way the brain works. Something that um, something that's bad for you. He had been doing it so much that he couldn't really function without it. So imagine that. Imagine having to Imagine not being able to function without something that's bad for you. These all of these problems stimulate from taking alcohol on a brain that's not developed to be um, on a brain that's not developed yet. And this is the result that you get from it. It's indecisiveness and bad decisions. It's just something to think about for some of you who may have a dilemma with drinking. Like I said, I hope this video has helped somebody throughout this process. All right, thank you.